Yeah, Asante. I'm so happy to be with you today to mark 15 years since the passing of our Katiba, a document that gave this country a new life and a new dispensation. It's supposed to be a document that ensures that Kenya will never be the same again. But know that we, as William Tunga says, we gave birth to a beautiful baby called the Kenyan Katiba and gave it to child traffickers. And since that time, we've been trying to fulfill and implement the Constitution, but the people in power have been trying to kill that baby. I'm happy the baby is still alive, struggling, but all of us are going to ensure that baby lives and thrives so that our kids can enjoy a better Kenya. My name is Boniface Mwangi. My friends call me Boni, and from now you can calling me Boni. Thank you. Asante. I'm a husband, a father, a patriot, and a proud son of my late mother, Wakioro, who died 17 years ago. And I'm sure if she was in this room, she'd be very proud of the Kenya we dream about and the Kenya we want to build together. Like most of you, I love this country deeply. And I've been in the forefront of fighting for a better country for the last 20 years. We've been in the streets with you, and every time we go to the streets, they push us back. They call us paid activists. They call us hooligans. They call us terrorists, but we're not. We're all patriots, and we're a better country. When you bring issues, they bring sideshows. And so we gather here today to determine which direction our country is going to go. The future of our country is in our hands. No one else. No one else. And these people know that, and that's why they keep on bringing division to our process. Allow me, technological things, you know, the beauty. So, why are we gathered here today? We are gathered here to celebrate the Katiba and to see how it can be fulfilled to the letter. I have selected this great day to announce that I'm going to be running for the President of the Republic of Kenya.
That song is under arrest.
Thank you. Thank you. Wakenya kiboko yao. Wakenya kiboko yao. Asanteni. Sisi ndio dawa yao. And they know it. I deeply love our country, as you do, and like so many before who have sacrificed for us to be here today. From the Mau Mau, the Land and Freedom Army who fought for our country for independence. From the 60s, Pio Gamapinto, who was killed 64, Tom Mboya 69, JM Karaoke in the 80s, and Lugosi, and many others who came before us, and the people who met in this same room for many years to fight our new Katiba. The Katiba we have today came through toil, bloodshed, and tears. And now we must work together to ensure that it lives to spirit. Friends, our country is broken and in danger of becoming a failed state. The truth is, things are depleted and depressed for our people. Nothing is hardly working in this country. A vast majority of us are struggling with the crippling high cost of living. Taxes are choking us to death, driving families deeper into poverty, and forcing businesses to close shop. We are being forced to tighten our belts, but I ask you, for how much longer are we going to tighten our belts? Due to the hard times, you sometimes hear Kenyans jokingly say, in a painful way, leo tunakondea wapi? Kwa sababu kila siku tunakonda, as they grow fatter and fatter, Kenyans are becoming thinner and poorer every single day. And that's why we're here, because We have the power, and we must change the direction of our country. To make matters worse, we have to take loans just to buy food. Nani hapa anafuliza? Nani ako nafuliza? Angalia, almost everyone here ako nafuliza. That's true. Hata wenye jonu mkono ako nafuliza. Yeah, about 8 million Kenyans have accessed Fuliza. And they're not doing Fuliza to do business. Wanafuliza, wanunua chakula, na wapate kitu kukula. Our economy is not working because the money that we pay as taxes is stolen every day. There's money for helicopters, there's money for buildings, there's money for phantom projects, but there's no money for our kids to go to school. You know, when I was growing up, at least exams were free. Now they're saying you go to school, you pay school fees, and exams you have to pay for. There's money for everything else apart from Kenyans, and that's why we're here. Our taxes are wasted, and the reckless borrowing is not enough to finance the lifestyle of a few greedy men and women in power. Our political class are the highest paid in the world, but still can't keep their itchy fingers off our coffers. Today, 8,300 Kenyans own 99% of this country. They own the companies, they own the land, they own everything in this country. The other 1%, the 99% of us, own only 1% of this country. So 8,000 people own the entire country, the rest of us own 1%. And it is not enough. Even the money that should be for serving us is now in their hands. And so, as it gets worse and worse, our national debt has ballooned. Between 63 and 2013, our national debt was 1.9 trillion shillings. Today, our national debt is at 11.5 trillion without any justification or corresponding development. Every child born today in this country is born into debt. When you go home and you and your partner or your wife and you make love and you have this bundle of joy, comes as a bundle of debt. Siku hizi ukizaa unazaa deni, because your child is born into debt. Every single person in this country owes 230,000 shillings, every single person, the equivalent of 5-year rent in Kibera, where 250,000 people live in shanty homes. So, comrades, where do we go? Unemployment is very high, and there's no hope in sight. Our children nowadays have to write their own obituaries before they go to the streets, because standing up for your country can get you killed. And what can you say about our children who are forced to sell their bodies for food or sanitary pads? And then you have a president who pardons pedophiles. Our country is no longer safe. A few months ago, I was stripped naked, shamed, and humiliated because my government conspired with the Tanzanians. But I survived because of your love and your courage, and that's why I'm here. Thank you. As a country, we are broke, we are hungry, and insecure. Despite the so many called police reforms, the police has never been at service. The rule of law is broken. Justice has a price that only the rich can afford. The fact is, in Kenya, you're guilty until proven rich. Poor people are always guilty. Young people cannot work in their communities if they have nothing in their pocket. And if they have something in their pocket, they must have an ID. The police have turned Kenyans into their cash cows and ATMs. A cop will tell you, we are poorly paid, and they can't own cows. So Wakenya ndio ngombe zetu, tunawakamua. So every time a cop sees you, they milk you. And in this country, you can be killed for refusing to pay a bribe. All the rights that was granted by us by the new constitution, which is still a young baby, still a toddler, 15 is young, still a teenager, have been trashed by this regime, as if they were mere suggestions. Our president treats the constitution like tissue paper. He flouts the law, disobeys court orders, and undermines the very constitution that is sought to protect. You have a president who is a lawbreaker. he thinks this country belongs to his mother. It doesn't belong to his mother. This country belongs to all of us. And you cannot personalize a state at your own identity. The thing that defines our nation is that constitution and our national anthem. Plenty be found in our borders, not plenty be found in the president's pocket. You cannot be talking about building churches in public property worth billions of shillings while Kenyans go to bed hungry. You cannot talk about building a church while most kids in this country go to makeshift classrooms. You know, one of the people in government said that he has expensive taste. And you ask yourself, you grew up in Marakwet, Elgeyo Marakwet, you went to school barefoot. Where did you develop this expensive taste? It is true. Yeah, someone is walking around in a $10,000 Italian suit, and you know how much you earn. The people that are in power are robbing us, and we know it, and they have the audacity to say, mtu apigwe risasi. Now, we must take back our power. And last year we did that, actually, people. We went to the streets, and we took back our power. But I've witnessed the brutal and deeply repression of Kenyans by this regime for simply exercising our right to protest. And instead of the violators of our rights facing justice, the victims are branded as treasonous criminals. Who is a criminal? But now, you know who is a criminal, you know. You know who the criminal is. The true criminals are protected, while our youth are brutalized for carrying placards, flags, and water. There's no denying that our government has failed us. It is allergic to being held accountable and often responds by abducting, torturing, and murdering patriotic citizens. Our leadership has failed us in numerous ways. We pay taxes expecting service, but we are forced to pay bribes to get that same service. Our leadership has auctioned us to the highest, and I dare say even the lowest bidder. Our children have been shipped like slaves to do manual jobs abroad, and sometimes they come back broken or in body bags. Instead of tapping to their potential within our borders, we are condemning them into pits of depression, alcoholism abroad. Where is the value for our people? Where is the value for human life? And where is the value for sanctity of life? We have sunk so low. Currently, we have the worst parliament in the history of this country. The People's House, Parliament, has been turned into an auction house and a rubber stamp for the executive. We have been told of stories of parliamentarians lining up in the toilet to receive 10,000 shillings to pass bills. And it breaks my heart because we have people that we pay so well. We buy them top-of-the-range cars. We give them medical cover. We give them bodyguards. We give them offices. We fuel their car. We service their cars. They travel first class, but they still have no shame. They still sell their souls to the devil. And because we are holy people in God's land, we must stay away from those demons and remove those demonic people from power. There's no way you can say that you have values and you love this country and you earn what they earn and you spend what they spend and you flout what they do. The work of parliamentarians and the work of the president is to run a country, parliament is to pass law and check the executive. They cannot be on the same bed. So we need to break that bed, because that bed is an unholy bed. Wanafanya nini kwa kitanda moja? There are two different houses. So as we stand here, our country must be taken back into our hands. That is my call to you. That my call is we reclaim back our power and we must take action. We must recognize that the power is within us, that we can change our situation, and we must act now. Unajua kwamba Waswahili walisema Wakenya wakirevuka, mkora kwa mashakani. Na kwa sababu Wakenya wamerevuka, hawa wakora wako mashakani. Each and every one of us must recognize and believe that we have what it takes to create a better Kenya, a better life. Wakenya, we can do this. We can change our situation. I want to give an example of what they used to divide us, because that's one of the strongest weapon against us, and that we have taken it back. Tribalism, for example, has been used to divide us for too long. It only benefits the politicians, their families, and their friends. It's the poor people who suffer the brunt of tribal politics. Let's not forget that over 1,500 Kenyans were murdered and over 500,000 displaced in the 2007-2008 post-election violence. To date, they have never received justice. Some lost their lands, lost their homes, and lost lives. And the sponsors and the perpetrators of the violence today run this country. And that is a mistake. We gave our constitution, our country, and the future of our kids to gangsters. And their actions every single day proves to us that they're gangsters. You know, I have 3 beautiful kids. And if you came to my house and you said, I'm looking for work as a nanny to work for you, and I said, what's your track record? And you say, oh, I was once accused of stealing land of an internally displaced person. I was once charged with crimes against humanity. I was charged with rape. I would not invite you to my house. So how did we end up electing people accused of crimes against humanity to run our country? We need to interrogate ourselves as a country, because if we don't, we might make the same mistake again, and Kenya will forever be lost. Right now we have a bit of sanity, but we are going towards insanity. And the political class has come together to defeat the will of the people. And that's the reason why we must defeat tribalism. We all know hunger has no tribe, cancer has no tribe, poverty has no tribe. So when they introduce tribalism, we must refuse. And you know, when you take a child to school or you pay bus fare, you don't say, oh, you know, I'm a Calais, fare is cheaper. Or if you know you can't go to a bank anywhere and say, oh, how much money do you want? You say amount of money. Then you put source of funds, savings, credit, you put your tribe. Doesn't work like that. So if tribe is not a check we can cash, it can be a currency that we use to operate this country. We must stay away from tribalism. You know, fellow patriots, we must act now. We are tribeless, we are fearless, and we are one, bound by our values of Article 10 of our Constitution, and our love for each other. A tribeless Kenya is possible and good for us all. The Gen Zs showed us what that looks like. That being tribeless is our powerful weapon against the laws of impunity. And that's why if you see anyone in this country mobilizing around tribe, that's a very dangerous person. Please note that. Anyone, even me, and I've never said I'm my tribe actually. You know, my last born has a Luo name. People always ask him, baba yako ni Mjaluo, ama baba yako ni tofauti? Because when they were born, my wife and I decided that we're going to bring our kids in a different country. And we're trying to do that. I know that you are ready, able and willing to change this country. And you have one weapon, love and courage. You have love for this country that we deeply, deeply love. And that love is going to be our driving force. You know, what they have on the other side is hate and violence. And we're going to encounter that with the courage to believe we can change this country. Part of the leadership of the movement are in this room, and we sat down after July protests and we said, we're losing too many kids, and we have gone to too many funerals. And we realized there's one thing they can't do. They can't out-organize us. So we stopped agonizing, and now we are organizing to bring about a ballot revolution. We have a very beautiful country, very beautiful. People pay lots of money to come here, and we call this place home. And so we can't afford to lose our country to the bandits of impunity. And that's why we must create a Kenya that works for all of us, not some of us. The greatest gift we can give ourselves and our kids and our grandkids is reclaiming this country from the hands of the bandits. My dream for the new Kenya is possible, and that is a dream. And that is a Kenya that is food for all. I want to ensure that educate a single cent. Yeah, this conmanship of charging exams and charging education is so wrong. You know, when President Kibaki was elected in 2002, he said January 3rd, everyone reports to school. There was no budget, there was no allocation, and education was free. So most of us here, the Gen Z, went to school when Kibaki was not charging any fees. And much later, we have a bigger budget, and we can't afford to educate our kids. And that is a failure as a country. So I'm going to ensure that there's free education for all. Quality healthcare will be free. Afya bora ya bure. Not this she scam, you know, this scam that they're running. Shisha scam. We just lost 11 billion shillings. You see how rich you are. The other thing, about 29 million Kenyans have no access to clean water. And so, as a policy and as a government, when you get into power, we're going to ensure that maji ni bure, kill nchi mzima. Maji ni bure. I pay water less than the people in Kibera and Mathare and Korogocho. The poor people of this country pay much more for water than rich people. And then to equalize that, water should be free for all. The other thing is that we live in a very unsafe country where State House has an abduction squad, where the crime scene is State House, and so no one security is guaranteed. What I'm going to do as a country, I'm going to ensure that security for all is guaranteed, that the police will serve the people, not a few individuals, that if the country is not safe, then they should never be safe. And so I'm going to build a country that is safe for everyone. It doesn't matter your status. If you're in Pokot, like Emmanuel here, there'll be no bandits. If you're in Lamu, there's no terrorists. And then if you're in Nairobi, there are no land grabbers trying to take your playground, you know? I know all these things will be possible because in my administration, there'll be no corruption. There'll be zero corruption. The 2027 elections are about decorum, decency, and dignity. It's about creating a kinder nation where the presidency is a symbol of unity, a vision bearer, and a dream maker. I speak as we, not as I, because I belong to a movement that loves Kenya and has the courage to do the right thing at the right time, and that time is now. My run for office is to reclaim our dignity as a country and love for this nation. We are full of love. We did not go to protest because we hate this country. We did that because of love. And so I want to bring respect, dignity to this nation by leading this country in a better way. The time to liberate our country is now. There's no better time to believe in a new country, Kenya mpya, mwanzo mpya, than today as we mark 15 years since the promulgation of our new constitution, our Katiba. Let all those who love Kenya join this movement of change, mwanzo mpya. We're going to work with everyone as long as you're clean. Yes, we are not going. So, if I take this water, which I'm going to sip, Nazakayo asikie. Freedom is here. Ni sasa hivi. So, tusonge. So, if I take this water, and it's very clean right now, and I drop a drop of urine or human waste of cow dung, what will happen to this water? Contaminated, right? It's going to be polluted, right? And I think it's going to be a mistake as a movement and as a people of this country to try with work with anyone who is contaminated. We cannot achieve change by working with people who have been part of the problem for the last 63 years. We cannot achieve change with people who have unexplained wealth. We cannot have change with people who are part of KANU. We cannot. You have to realize, in the 80s, we had the Nyayo torture chambers. When people were being tortured in Nyayo torture chambers and jailed in committee without a trial, there are members of KANU who are life KANU members carrying a card. We cannot trust those people because they are hyenas. So as we call for unity among all the candidates, we're going to call unity among people who don't have a checkered past, so that we do not fall in the same trap. There are also people who were part of this killer government, and they were not apologetic about it, and now they become saviors and messiahs overnight because they are out. Disregard them, let the hyenas fight among the hyenas, and because you are not hyenas, we stay away from their fight. And we build a new country. Their politics is divisive. It's tribal. We cannot use their language. They have money and they have power, but we have will, we have love and courage, and with that we're going to defeat them. The truth is, to cast your vote, it costs nothing to cast your vote. So if you all register to vote, with all their billions, they're still going to lose. So as you sit here and those who are watching online, don't let money concern you. Money should be the least of our concern, because we have a vision and a mission to fulfill, and it doesn't need money, just need love and courage. With love and courage, you can take our country back. Last year, there were protests in 37 counties out of the 47. 37 counties. There was no budget. There was no money. You know, when they came to arrest me, and they said I was financing the movement, they found there was no money in my account, there was no money in my office, and they still wonder, how do these people organize? It's love and courage. We love this country. You know, we had slept for a long time. Yeah? Yeah. We had slept for a long time. Then we realized, actually, just a placard and a flag, and they start scattering. You know, the president had to call the military from the barracks. The man was scared before the old man sold out. Shame! Shame! Hawa wazee wende nyumbani wote. Na unajua ni kwenda nyumbani and then kidogo tunafungua mastaka and then tuenda jela. Let me tell you. This, you know, when I told my family was running, Nate, who spoke earlier, very well-spoken young man, and I'm so proud of him and my entire family. You know, Nate cried. Nate remembers us living in exile. Nate said, Dad, they'll kill you. But if I die, and I die for a better country, it's worth dying, right? Yes? But I don't want to die. But I know very well, even if they kill me, you can never stop this movement. Because the time for change has come, and there's no price. We can't be bought. Actually, no one ever sold out. The movement leadership and the people organizing, not a single person sold out. So don't be confused. You might see some people who crisscrossed all over. Those are meant to be where they're supposed to be. Yeah, do not complain. We're many, do not complain. Now, as I conclude, let all those who love this country join this movement of change, Mwanzo Mpya, a new beginning, and collectively build a Kenya that works for all of us. It will take implementing the Constitution to build a new country. To the letter, that document is our roadmap to get out of this jail of these politicians. This campaign will need your voice, your prayers, your support, and when the time comes, your votes. Let's do it. I'm going to do a Meet the People tour. I want to come to your communities, come to your villages, come to your churches, come to your mosque, come to where you hang out. Ndakuja West Pokot. Ndakuja West Pokot, so that we get to do People's Manifesto. So we have the Katiba as our roadmap and as a guideline, but for us to have a manifesto that gets and captures the aspiration of this country and the people of this country, we need to do a tour over the entire country and listen to you. Because I believe the current mess in this country is not a one-person job. It is not possible for one person to fix this country. It will need collective leadership. And so, all the candidates who are vying, we are going to put our ego aside, our ambition aside, and just say, what's the vision for this country, and how do we get it? So, collectively, we can liberate this country. When I say Mwanzo Mpya, say pamoja tunaweza, because I know together we can actually. Collectively people, we can liberate this country. So I want you to go home with joy in your heart. Because you know joy can't be stolen. Yeah, that there's something brewing in this country. And the revolution is here. And no bullets, no buttons, no abduction that can stop us. Yeah. So Mwanzo Mpya, you say pamoja tunaweza, right? Pamoja tunaweza. Mwanzo Mpya. Kenya mpya. Maisha bora. Love for Kenya. Courage for Kenya. Kufunga wakora. To recover what's stolen. To ensure they go to jail. I guarantee you today that the government that is going to come to power will recover what's stolen and jail the thieves. The odious debt we have as a country, they borrowed money and stole that money. Money doesn't die. Money can be tracked. We're going to track the money and recover that what was stolen. The land they took must be recovered. Is there anyone here from Taita Taveta? Taita Taveta, there you go. Yeah? I was born in Taita Taveta. The majority of people in Taita Taveta are squatters in their own ancestral land. Imagine how that land must be returned. If you know you own 500,000 acres of stolen land, it's coming back. So, as a generation, Julius, I love you, man. That guy is a brave guy. Hey. So, let me tell you, do not apologize for being called an activist or being called a radical, because you are radicals for change and are radicals for a better country. Yeah. You know, because you're not a land grabber, you're not a thief, you know, you did not cause post-election violence, you did not murder kids last year, you know, you're not a wife beater, you know, we know these things. We are all amazing people. So, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Change is here, people. Change is here. I love you all. Thank you.